Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a Legacy video every Friday. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by joining the Patreon. Here you can gain access to a continuously updated sideboard guide and primer on Legacy Doomsday, as well as being able to send private messages. You can join the Patreon by clicking the link in the video description or going to patreon.com/nebuleshootmtg. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another Legacy video, and today I felt like dredging up an oldie but a goodie. This is Doomsday Desire, or Mind Desire Doomsday. So, I've played this a couple of times, but it's been a long while. Basically, this is a Demure Doomsday deck that integrates the card Mind Desire. Look, Mind Desire was unbanned, I want to say, I don't know, like 2 years ago? Maybe even more. And it was one of those cards that for the longest time it had been sort of a legendary card that was stuck on the ban list. People had started talking about how maybe it wouldn't even actually do that much if it was unbanned. Turns out that's kind of what happened. It did not really impact Legacy. Occasionally you'll see Mind Desire come up in lists like high tide lists have incorporated Mind Desire, I think, to the most successful degree, but it did not create or enable a storm archetype to really take off. It is an amazingly sweet card, and in this Doomsday deck, we can win with the traditional Doomsday with Thassa Oracle through Cavern of Souls or Lion's Diamond cycling and all that stuff, or we can win with Tendrils of Agony. I have added, in order to have a somewhat saturation of things that are worth hitting with Mind Desire, I have added a Dark Petition, and there's a Lorien Revealed. And then in the sideboard, I have a pretty solid, black creatures get it done kind of sideboard plan, similar to what I'm currently playing in normal Doomsday. So with that, let's jump into League. Alright, on the draw for round number 1, I'm going to keep this hand somewhat reluctantly, but it does promise some number of copies of Mind Desire at some point in the future, if we get there. Misty Rainforest, Tundra. Been playing against this type of deck quite a bit. I guess it could be any number of things, but like Tundra Tameo is becoming a more sort of frequent opening. I'm going to start with the Undercity Sewers. We could just try and YOLO here. Alright, I'm gonna draw the Dark Ritual. I'm a little bit torn right now between like Dark Ritual Doomsday and eventually Rituals Galore and Mind Desire. I do kind of expect this league to go in the way where the Doomsday part of this deck is going to carry the weight and the Mind Desire is going to be like fun fluff, but we'll see. Mind Desire does allow for some to win from some interesting moments. Okay, opponent doesn't shuffle with the Ponder. No Wasteland, happy about that. So, will the second fetch reveal? That's Tropical Islands, that's probably a Nadu deck. And they flip their Tameo here, casting the second Ponder. We could potentially reach a pretty interesting spot where perhaps we are able to cast both Doomsday and then Mind Desire after the Doomsday. But I think we're a little bit of a ways off here because we don't have Threshold or a route to Threshold real easily here. There is Nomads, that means potentially next turn. Oh, not potentially, they just have it. Yikes. Okay, so this is the actual combo version. I'm going to just yield to these abilities and then let the opponent show me their deck, and then I'll concede. There's Thassa's Oracle, so that's not in their hand. Does this deck still play black and have like well, I mean, obviously. Okay, hang on. So they're returning days. Okay, that's smart. Or I don't know if it's smart. Like I'm not tabbed out or anything. But I mean, did they play Cabal Therapy? There was a Narcomoeba. Okay, one card left. I don't see a Dread Return. It must be the last card, or it's in their hand. Oh wow, really? Well, looks like we're getting a turn. Is that actually happening? I think I will fetch, just to reduce the chance of me drawing a land. I think my best draw might be a Lotus Petal here, or a Daze. Lauren Revealed is not my best draw. Okay, well, let's see here. If the opponent dazes this Cabal or this Dark Ritual, then we're fucked. They didn't. Let me just check to see something here. 1, 2, 3 Force of Wills. I see 3 Force of Wills in their graveyard. They likely have a Force of Will in hand. All right, let's cast a second Dark Ritual, and let's cast. I don't have a way to get Threshold, right? No. Let's cast Cabal Ritual. All right. Well, here comes a fetch, and we have expertly played around Daze here, but we are only going to get 4 flips, so I think I really need to hit like another Mind's Desire here. They have probably Force of Will in hand. Imagine if we had one more. Oh, Tendrils of Agony? Holy smokes, that was a good one. So we just need spells that cast Doomsday. Super interesting. Counter Souls, not so interesting. And Edge of Autumn. So Edge is spell 5, Doomsday spell 6. And yeah, imagine if Edge was in our hand, so we could draw into the Doomsday pile. Well, let's cast this Doomsday. Like, I'm hoping for them to cast a spell right now, which they didn't. And it would appear as though this is the end. Storm is going to be 6, then 7 with the Tendrils. So they're going to be at 3. What's my out here? I'm going to have the Cavern of Souls exiled anyways. Oh man, that was so close. We needed like... We probably needed to hit like a Brainstorm or a Ponder there. I'm just trying to work out if there is any way. I don't think there is any way, because Edge of Autumn send like the land enters tapped, right? So even if I were to get like basic swamp, and then I could have cast my Doomsday from hand, which would like add a storm. It would still not be enough. So it does feel like you're working with a bit of a larger toolbox playing this list, but I don't think, unfortunately, that I have a way to do this. Let's add basic swamp. Let's add Thassa. So what's the plan here? They draw a card and then they... I still don't know exactly how they win here, right? I guess they have the Memory's Journey. Alright, so how about that? Double Force plus some lands. We have a fetch land as well. So let's put the lands on the bottom, and then I guess it's not going to matter because I'm going to shuffle here. Let's cast this. Let's get the swamp. And then we cast Tendrils. And let me just see if I can remember here. Maybe their plan is, like, if they have the Dread Return in their hand, it doesn't look like they have a Cabal Therapy to get it out of their hand. So probably their plan is to cast Memory's Journey. Where is it? For 1 green mana, shuffle up to 3 cards from their graveyard into their hand. And so their hand is dazed plus some stuff. I don't know. Let's just at least we won't lose to combat here. And now I could cycle the Lorien Reveal to ensure that I don't draw the basic island. But I kind of want this as a blue card in case I draw the Force. So I don't know. But then again, like, they have a Force somewhere, so. Alright, well, that was probably a big huff and puff and nothing, but we did have to get lucky there with Storm only being 4. Okay, so now they mill in their upkeep. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't see that line, but that's good, because then they just shuffle only they pay 1 mana, and then they cast, like, they pay 1 mana for Memory's Journey, and they just only choose 1 card. Yup. Alright. And there we go. Okay. So off to the sideboard, I think I might just be tempted to resubmit. And then not show them any creature, and then if there's a game 3, I'll go for max creatures. Yeah, let's try that. Alright, well, let's see if we can go one better here in the second game. Yeah, that's pretty good. This is turn 2 Doomsday after a Thoughtseize and with Force backup. I'd buy that for $1. Meanwhile, opponent mulligan to 6. Alright, well, let's go. Force of Will, Force of Negation. I guess I take the Force of Will. The Force of Negation can only be used defensively. So if something happens here and they end up like trying to do some shenanigans on their turn, I can at least Force of Will and they cannot Force of Negation back. That is not what's going to happen here. Instead, this is going to happen. Let's get Underground Sea and hope they didn't draw another Force or a Daze. Force pitch Narcomoeba. I'm going to force pitch Force here. I think the Lorien Revealed can be used. So Doomsday's in. I could try and win with Cavern of Souls. Not having Jace here is a little bit annoying. So where do we go? So I guess actually the Thoughtseize needs to be like basic island. So we draw a cycler, then we can just cycle towards Thassa, and then also cycle Lorien Revealed if we somehow, like, if they play out their hand. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this, and if we feel like we have to wait 1 additional turn, then we get Cavern. But then it's like, well, do we give them another turn to find like Consign to Memory? There's the Saga. Okay, so now they have 2 unknown cards. I think I do not just YOLO here because we did see them play Daze, and I don't want to lose to Daze. I think it's more likely that they have a Daze than they have a Consign to Memory. Now they get to draw a card. There's a Cavern. Cavern name's a Wizard. Alright, well, do any of your 3 cards in hand plus the 1 on top of your deck contain Consign to Memory? If not, I think I win. Alright, I'm going to cycle, and I'm going to also cycle this Lorien Revealed, and then I'm going to pass. Play the Cavern name Wizard. Alright, they draw their clue, digging for that Consign. Alright, they didn't find it. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, now I'm going to completely pivot. I think I want everything here in the sideboard. Every single card. The Grafdigger's Cage and Hill Spellbomb obviously are good in case they go for the combo. And all the creatures and removal hopefully will help us play the game we want to be playing here. I'm going to board out the Doomsday, the Tendrils, the Edge of Autumn, the Lion's Eye Diamond. I'm going to board out the Mind's Desire and the Thassa's Oracle. And to consider, I don't know, maybe like boarding out some number of rituals would behoove me here. Yeah, I'm going to board out 3 rituals here. And that leaves us with 21 blue cards, 1 Street Wraith that is good with Barrogoyf, and or at least, defendable with Barrogoyf. Alright. This is turn 2 Shieldred with Force backup, but vulnerable to a Daze. Opponent mulligans 6 Nomads. I'll allow this. Obviously, this hurts if they have Cavern for Wizard. And, but I don't think, like, snapping off a Force of Will on the Nomads is the way to go. Here come the beats. Ponder. Okay. I would feel better if I could find, like, a Dark Ritual or something like that. Like, obviously, the best possible draw probably is Cavern Souls for me. I'm going to Surveil in either case. They did not shuffle their Ponder, which is scary. Dark Ritual, okay, I'll take it. This means 1 fewer resource spent, and also being able to play around Daze. I'll probably play the second Petal. Like, they might think this is a Mind's Desire, and then they might aggro counter this. Okay, they didn't. Shieldred's in. So, like, in a pinch, I can Brazen Borrower, like Petty Theft the Nomads, if they go, like, Cavern for Nadu. But that's only gonna hold off for, like, a little bit. Okay, they have the Cephalid. I am going to Force of Will here. I think I have to pitch Force of Negation. Like, if they have Force back, then I'm dead if I don't Petty Theft the Nomads. I might just be dead anyways. Okay, I wasn't dead. Okay, now I need, like, a Graveyard Hoser or a Counterspell. Brainstorm. Brainstorm is good. I am going to attack first. They take 4. Here comes Brainstorm. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess I'll put back Petty Theft and Second Daze. I don't know, like, having Petty Theft is also pretty nice. But the problem is I can't have everything here. Okay, I'm going to pick Daze and then Petty Theft, so that I have Force plus Daze here, and then, or not Force, but I have Force pitching Daze, and then I'll draw the Petty Theft. We might just be able to squeeze this one through. Ooh, they Brainstorm. Yep. Pay the piper here. And they concede. Sweet. We get game 1, or round 1. Alright, on the draw, rather, for round number 2. I'm going to keep this interesting looking hand. Devourer of Destiny. Oh no, so this is Eldrazi. I would prefer not to have Chalice of the Void be part of this game. They just exiled 1, so probably they have one. Wasteland, okay. Frustrating though this might be, I think I'm going to fetch Basic Island. This Scalding Tarn doesn't get Basic Swamp. This lets me Ponder, and I have the Daze. Now I also have a Force of Will. Alright, I'm going to draw the Force of Will here. And I can cycle the Street Wraith into... Oh, was that the Polluted Delta I put on top? I think I should have put the Lorn Revealed, yeah. Fleshraker, I think that's okay. Lotus Petal, you hate to see it. Alright, so I think I am going to daze this line breaker before the trigger gives them a spawn token to pay for the daze. And now there's a Lorien revealed on top of my deck, which will let me, like, I can cycle the Street Wraith into that if I need to, but it's probably preferable for me to hang on to that. I guess not. I think I'm running out of ways I can win this game, but we'll see. Just taking too much damage here. Brainstorm. Okay, so I think I need to hold on to this Brainstorm for one more turn. Do I Thoughtseize here? I think I Thoughtseize. And then my plan just has to be to find a Dark Ritual or any land other than Cavern of Souls. And then I get to win on the same turn. Devour, Linebreaker. I think the Linebreaker can take a hike here. Okay, I'm at 8. I will be at 6 if nothing else happens here, which is enough life total. Okay, so big draws here. Oh, yeah, that was not good. Let's cast Brainstorm. I suppose I could have waited for one turn, but where does that leave me? Put away Thassa. Put away Thoughtseize. Now the problem is if I fetch here, they will get to wasteland my fetch. Alright, I will fetch because I think I'm dead otherwise. I suppose there is a world where I play out the Thassa's Oracle as a blocker, buy myself a couple of turns. Does this work? So I could like mini Tendrils them to prolong the game a little bit. So that would be like 8 life gain. I would jump up to 11. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're still like 2 mana away from casting a Devourer. I think I will leave this on top. Okay, very surprising they didn't wasteland me here. So wait, I have 4, 6 mana. I just do not have enough mana to also cast the Doomsday. Alright, let's cast this Tendrils. Alright, and we'll pass. Maybe they won't wasteland me, and then I'll draw like a cantrip. Chalice of the Void for 1. Okay, so now the cantrip has to be Edge of Autumn. So what happens here? I Doomsday down to 4 life. They attack me down to 2. So they would need to cast 2 spells here. I will do this. And I will just hope to have enough. So the problem is that I can't cast 1-drops. So how do I... And I can't cycle the Street Wraith because it's too much for my life total probably. So if they cannot cast a spell next turn, but let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they are 1 mana short of casting a Devourer of Destiny, and if they cast Devourer of Destiny, I drop to 3, and then I take 2 from the glaring, so I would be at 1, so I can't fetch. So is that just the way the cookie crumbles here? I have no actual factual way of leveraging this. How about how about Edge of Autumn into Dark Petition? So Dark Petition, I would have 4 mana total, but then it's not enough, unfortunately. Yeah, like I could Tendrils, but it would be like for 2. Oof. So what we could do is we could... Oh man, how about this? Mind's Desire, Mind's Desire, Mind's Desire. There's still obviously a big risk that we will just be dead. But let's say they don't wasteland us. That's the first thing we have to have happen. We draw Edge of Autumn. We cycle it. Sack LED, draw Mind's Desire, cast it. Then that Mind's Desire either hits. Yeah. All right. This is what we're gonna do. Good times will be had by someone, probably my opponent. But okay. So Thassa's Oracle, Mind's Desires en masse. So could you please not kill us, opponent? I think maybe I play out that land to disincentivize the wasteland. Secluded courtyard. Uh-oh. Well, they're casting the Devourer of Destiny. What? Oh no, I forgot. I forgot that's how this stupid creature works. Okay, never mind. No one will allow me to have any Mind's Desire fun. What's wrong with you people? No. Okay. So post board. Probably we just bring in the couple of Force of Negations here. And board out what exactly? Like, I think I'll board out a Daze and a Cabal Ritual and resubmit. Ugh, can I afford to keep this hand? The problem is I Force of Will, then suddenly my hand does nothing. Then I have to hope that I draw a good card. I think I am gonna risk it here. Like, I'll have to, I think, force Chalice for 1 here. And that looks like what they have. Yep. I think I will force this pitch to Mind's Desire. Like, I still have several good cards that I could draw, like a Doomsday. Oh, I was supposed to Surveil there. Ponder. Let's cast Ponder. Brainstorm, Force of Negation. I think I will draw the Brainstorm. Yeah, I forgot that the Devourer counts itself towards the Glaring Fleshraker. Okay, not a Wasteland, but let's see if they have more. Okay, they just have this dude, so that's a beater, of course. But we could just draw a Doomsday right now and win the game. Let's Surveil. I'll take a Mind's Desire. I'll bin the Misty Rainforest and take my draw step. Force of Will. Okay. Let's cast Brainstorm. Dark Petition. Alright, so this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mind's Desire for 6. Put away the Brainstorm, or rather the Force of Will and the Daze. Alright, let's cast Dark Ritual and Cabal Ritual. Actually, hang on. Just gonna play out this petal here. My opponent does appear to be of 6, but you never know. And let's cast Dark Petition. I could get Doomsday here, but I think it's more correct and much more fun to get Mind's Desire. Storm is 6. Alright, Force of Will, blank. Blue Delta, blank. Brainstorm. Probably cast that. Or should I wait? Yeah, let's wait. Dark Ritual. Actually, let's cast this Brainstorm. The Doomsday might be good. Put back Force of Negation and Underground Sea. Yield. Ponder. Okay. And last card is a land. So I cast the Dark Ritual I cast the Doomsday. That drops me to 6. Let me just see if I'm actually just dead and nothing matters here. How does this guy work? Beginning, target creature gains haste and +X+O. So they just need to play like basically any Eldrazi here, and then they give that one haste, and I'll be dead. So maybe I have to like get a daze here, and then ponder into it. I don't have high hopes here, but you never know. Consider, do I want that? So I'm gonna ponder into the days, then draw Edge of Autumn into whatever, and then get the Tendrils, or rather get the Thassa's Oracle. Yeah, I'll hide the Tendrils, and I guess a Force of Will, make them think. So ponder into days, then draw Edge into Thassa. Hope they don't have a removal spell. Yeah, Force of Will and Tendrils on the bottom, then Thassa, and draw the days. Cast Ponder from exile without paying for it. Draw the days. Alright, and we pass. If they're able to resolve a creature here, we're dead. Eldrazi Temple. Does not seem like it would be good for me. Yep, we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. Alright, GG's opponent. Okay, we're on the play for round number 3. This is not something I'm prepared to complain about. So we could, like, wait a turn here. Does that seem like something we would want to do? My thought is no thank you. That would allow us to fetch all basics and stuff, but and having the Force of Will definitely means I'm kind of interested, but then on the other hand, like, this is just such a strong play, pre-boarded in Legacy. The only things to really worry about probably is like stuff like Disruptor Flute or Endurance here. Let's get a fetch land and basic island and some cyclers. Basic island on the bottom, Thassa, Cavern, Misty, Edge. Alright, so it's a blue matchup. That's good to know. I think I will cast Brainstorm here. If they want to fight over this, then I will happily oblige. Misty Rainforest, Flooded Strand. So if they have like a dress down here in the main deck, plus the ability to fight over it, then we're in trouble. But other than that, I feel like this is looking pretty good. All right, I am going to fetch before I put Thassa's Oracle on the stack. This loses to something very random like a Predict, but it beats Double Plow, Force of Will. Okay, and they concede. So we're up against the blue deck. We don't know what kind. I am going to not sideboard, and then if there's a game 3, I'll go full creature probably. Can we keep this? I think this is enticing enough for me to keep this. This is a turn 1 Dark Petition with Force of Will backup, which basically means Doomsday. Hedge Maze, so I'm immediately guessing Nadu. What's my best draw here? Like a land? I do hit a land. Okay, well, I think I go for this. Ooh, this pause I'm not happy about. Makes me feel like they have days. And days does work here. Unfortunately. Our spell mastery is enabled. Obviously, like if they daze here or force, I will force back. They're thinking long and hard about this. Okay. So I almost clicked on the Cavern of Souls just out of habit. This has happened to me multiple times. Be careful when playing Dark Petition on Magic Online. The second you click on a card here, it doesn't ask you if you're sure. It just puts it in your hand. So if you're like, oh, all right, like I'm resolving Doomsday, start clicking on the, I need Thassa's Oracle, then whoop, we're all done. All right, let's get Doomsday, and we have the 3 black floating. We cast Doomsday. Is this worth a counterspell? And it was. And Force of Negation pitching Narcomoeba. I'll force back. So this is Cephalid Breakfast, or Nadu Breakfast. They had the days anyways. Why would you not start off with the days? Alright, well, I'm gonna keep playing because, that costs them a lot of resources too, but obviously I am out more. Here's Hedge Maze. They mill over a Nomads. I draw land. Not too exciting. I don't know. Suddenly I'm like playing against a lot of breakfast decks. It's interesting. Maybe it's like people are like really testing towards Eternal Weekend. At the time of recording, this is the end of September. It'll be this video will go out like quite a bit later, but I don't know. Maybe it's just in the weeks prior to this, I have not really played against that much breakfast. So they don't shuffle, and then they play another trop. I don't know. Interesting. All right. Street Wraith can take a hike. Ponder is good. I was gonna say like my best draw is probably Brainstorm, but I'm not gonna complain about Ponder. Dark Ritual, Mind's Desire. Yeah. I mean, I guess. Feel like they milled over the Nomads, which makes me think they probably um, have at least that part of the combo set up, and now they pondered and didn't shuffle. But I don't think like shuffling away stuff here makes that big of a difference. Okay, they just pass, which means I'm just gonna pass, and then I'm gonna fetch. I wish I had a second surveil land here for sure. All right, let's fetch to not draw. I forget what it was, but the card that was left on top of the deck. I'll take a ponder here. Should I try for Doomsday? And then like if they have another counterspell, I'll then have Brainstorm coming. Yeah, let's try this. Kind of we're kind of giving up on the Mind's Desire, but I think that's okay. They found another force. This time pitching Consign to Memory. Okay. And Illusionist. And honestly, my life is worth a little bit more to me than having them click through everything here with this Shuko. So I'm gonna just go onto the sideboard. And I will completely pivot now and hope that that's good enough. Make Sholdred do her thing like we just saw in the first round. We board out 3 Cabal Ritual and all Doomsday. What? Oh no, did I resubmit? What's happening? I guess I resubmitted by mistake. I must have. I don't remember clicking. I'll have to go back and watch this. Did I accidentally hit submit? That's weird. Okay, well, I mean, I guess I can't really do much here. I'll keep this and I will cast Doomsday. Holy moly, I'm completely stumped right now. If they force, it's a 2 for 2, and I still have a couple of Dark Rituals, which will hopefully be good with a later Mind's Desire or Doomsday. And they had the force. Wow, that's really super annoying. That my sideboarding apparently just failed. There's Nomads. I need to draw a blue card. I did not. Great. There is an Urza's Saga. Do they have the Cephalid Illusionist? We're moving to combat. Alright, if they have the Illusionist, they're not playing it out. Which makes you think they don't have it. Like, these breakfast pilots always just jam. Let's get rid of Cabal Ritual. And now we have at least, like, Force Pitch Dark Ritual. But I drew a Brainstorm, which is better, so I'm gonna cast that. Mind Desire. Let's get rid of Snow-Covered Island and a Dark Ritual. I'll play my land here. I could just like draw the Dark Ritual and then go for a little teeny weeny Mind Desire. But then if they have like Consigned to Memory, that's really freaking annoying. Here's Brainstorm. Let's give them that. Hedge Maze. So that means if they have Consign, it's not going to be up. I could also like try and daze my Dark Ritual here to get an extra Storm. I mean, like, Mind Desire for 3 is really a stretch. 4 is also really a stretch. But, I think I will, like, I'll Desire or Dark Ritual here, and then I'm going to daze. And if they force this Ritual, then that really sucks. But I think it's worth taking the risk here. So I'll pay. Do you force this Dark Ritual? I think it's like a super heads up play if they do, and you know, kudos to them. They are certainly thinking about it. And they do. Holy moly. Alright. We keep playing. And now I wish I had like played my or used my Undersea Sewers to daze. They're not making a friend here. Illusionist, Force of Will. Do you also have Veil of Summer? No, but Force of Will. Wow. Okay. GG's. Yeah, still really annoying about the whole sideboarding thing. Like I said, I'll have to go rewatch. Alright, on the draw for round number 4, we have a turn 1 Doomsday here. Not gonna chuck this one away. Having Thassa in our hand, never really that convenient or comfortable. Okay, opponent mulligans to 6. Yeah, because we're only playing the 1. We don't have Jace. If we ever have that Thoughtseized. Uh-oh, and it's oops all spells. What do you take here? You probably take Doomsday, or you take Ponder. If you're ready to go next turn, you take Ponder. Alright, they took the Thassa, and they just have it? Lovely. Oh, Bogra Trawler. So this is what we're doing? And they're exiling this. Okay, so they didn't read the memo that we're also a Tendrils of Agony deck. Fair enough. Well, I mean, even that is a little bit of a stretch because I think most Doomsday decks play multiple. Do play like multiple. What's the word I'm looking for? Like win conditions. So how do we like this? We go. We can go like for next turn. We would have 2, 4, 5 mana. The following turn, more than that. I think we draw the Force of Will here and pass. Hopefully they are so spent right now we're not gonna like have to worry about much more than their 3/1 beater. They didn't attack. That must have been a slip up. All right. I will pass here. Force of Will is up. The next card down is the Edge of Autumn. If I have 3 lands and then go like 5 mana, 6 mana with the 2 rituals, cast Doomsday, 3 black floating. Or rather, I would have 2 blue and 1 black floating. Is there a way I turn that into something with Mind's Desire? I could like Edge of Autumn into Brainstorm, cast Brainstorm, draw LED, LED, put back like LED, LED Cycler, put back Force of Will and Mind's Desire. Well, we'll see. That was all sort of napkin math there. I'll have to go over that again. All right, hang on. So let's see here. I have 3 lands. I'm not going to get to Threshold, so 3 lands becomes 5 mana with Dark Ritual, 6 with Cabal Ritual. Of those 6, it'll be 4 black, 2 blue. I'll spend 3 black on the Doomsday. I'll have black and blue floating, so I'll cast Doomsday, then I'll cycle Edge of Autumn, draw Brainstorm. The rest of my deck is then like Tendrils of Agony, Mind's Desire, LED, LED. So then I go cast Brainstorm, draw LED. Oh no, it doesn't have to be Mind's Desire because I already have that in my hand. So, but I suppose it could be. So that way I can Mind's Desire twice. It doesn't really matter. Well, I have enough storms. So Dark Ritual 1, Cabal Ritual 2, Doomsday 3, Brainstorm 4, LED 5, LED 6, Mind's Desire 7, Tendrils. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to try this. There's a chance I missed a stop along the way in my mind, and it turns out not to work out, but I think it should work. Cabal and then we cast Doomsday. And so the Edge needs to draw the Brainstorm. The Brainstorm needs to draw... Why am I such a doofus? Why did I think I had 2 LEDs? That was the one thing. But I will have 2 more mana, so I think it should be okay. Like if I do LED Petal, yeah. Way to go, Martin. But then I also need Street Wraith as the cycler. Wow. I completely just made some shortcuts in my mind that were not reflective of the reality of the situation. All right, let's just see here. So 3 mana floating. Cycle Edge, draw Brainstorm, cast Brainstorm, 2 mana floating, draw LED, Petal, Street Wraith. Put back Force of Will, Mind's Desire. Cast or cycle the Street Wraith, draw the Mind's Desire, sack LED. We'll have 3 from the LED plus the 2 we had remaining. That's 5 plus the Petal. Is this enough Storm? So Storm is 3 right now. Brainstorm 4. LED 5. Petal 6. Mind's Desire 7. Tendrils. Yeah, okay. Fun stuff. We just need to have the Tendrils on the bottom and the Brainstorm on top, and then the rest doesn't matter. Alright, cycle this Edge. Cast Brainstorm. Put back Force and Mind's Desire. Play out the artifacts. Cycle Edge or Street Wraith, sacking the LED for blue. and cast Mind's Desire. This is sweet. Um, we yield, but there are only 2 cards in the deck, so. And we cast Tendrils for Xaxes. Alright, we take game 1 versus Oops All Poops. Hey, I should coin that. Oops All Poops. That's how I feel about this deck. Alright, so I'm going to board in the 4 disruptive things we have here. Question is, do I need to worry about them pivoting onto a creature plan? Probably not. And then what do I cut here? I think probably it's the Mind's Desires. I think, yeah. I don't know. Do I cut all my desires? That seems also a little bit boring and potentially leaves a lot of other bad stuff in my deck. Maybe cut 1 Mind's Desire, cut 2 Cabal Ritual, and like the Cavern of Souls. Yeah, I like that more. Alright, they mulligan to 6. I have to mulligan this hand that has no mana. I'll keep this. And I'll bottom a Petal, I think. This, like, Force of Negation is very so-so versus Oops All Spells. Because their combo obviously doesn't care about or is facilitated through creature spells, but it still might do something like counter a Lotus Petal or a Dark Ritual. Like if they go Petal into Ritual here, I'll Force of Negation that. Okay, interesting. Why play out the Petal? I think I will pass with just Underground Sea. Like, yeah, we could also play the fetch land and then have Surveil, but I also want to be able to brainstorm with guaranteed shuffle afterwards next turn. And here, like, if they go Thoughtseize, like, being able to brainstorm to find a replacement force is nice. Okay, well, I am going to cast Brainstorm now and get rid probably of, like, Lines of Diamond and I guess consider. And then I'll pass. This leaves me with Force of Will, Pitch Ponder, and Cast Daze, and I still get to Surveil. Okay, here we go. Thoughtseize. I think I let that happen. Like, dazing here is so rough because of all the spirit guides. They do take Force of Negation, okay. Ooh, this is not Oops All Spells? Or I don't know. I'm not caught up with the Oops meta here. I don't know if what they have that requires blue mana other than obviously Thassa's Oracle. Let's get rid of Edge of Autumn. And we draw another land. That's not ideal. Let's cast Ponder. Doomsday. Alright, well, I'll take the Brainstorm here. I'm not going to Doomsday pass because, yeah, that's just not ideal. Gives them a whole turn to have at me. It's not indefensible, but okay. So this blue mana has me thinking that maybe they have, like, I don't know, Flusterstorm or something. I think I just Dark Ritual Doomsday here. Flusterstorm doesn't get this. If they have Consigned to Memory, that's annoying, but not unbeatable. What do I do here? I can Brainstorm and draw like Thassa and Thoughtseize. But then I have to put back. I can't do it on the same turn. What's the plan here? Grafdigger's Cage? So I go like Brainstorm, draw Thoughtseize, Grafdigger's Cage, put back Daze and Petal. That's really not that exciting. I still think I'd do that. Alright, let's cast... Or do I just want complete control here? I think probably I do. So I'm going to fetch. So I'll cast this Brainstorm, and then I'll draw... so I'll put back Petal and Thassa, and then I will Thoughtseize, play Grafdigger's Cage, hold up Daze, and then hopefully win next turn. They have 2 consigned memory here. I'm going to cry. Okay. Do they get... This enters and targets, so they can target me. So that wouldn't be good. So basically I need to take a Spirit Guide and then hope they don't draw Dark Ritual. I can daze like if they draw another Spirit Guide or a land here. So as long as they don't draw a Dark Ritual or a Cabal Ritual, it should be fine. Okay. They didn't do that. They concede. We're 2-2. Off to the final round. Alright, on the draw for the final round, we have a turn 1 Doomsday protected with Force of Will. We're going to keep this. I think one of the hardest dilemmas to be put in here would be turn 1 Thoughtseize. Turn 1 Ponder, I accept. Yeah, because turn 1 Thoughtseize on the draw, where if your opponent has a Daze and you Force of Will the Thoughtseize, it is just, there's no way back, is what it would feel like. But fortunately that didn't happen. But for some reason I was just thinking about like what would I least like to happen here. Opponent shuffles on the Ponder. Okay, well, another Dark Ritual. Well, that's cool. I am actually going to cast the second Dark Ritual just in case our opponent has Force plus Daze. Alright, well, that didn't happen, so let's get Oracle, Cavern of Souls, Underground Sea, because Bloodstained Mire doesn't fetch, Basic Island, and some Cyclers. And we'll put the Underground Sea at the bottom, then Thassa, and then Cavern, and then Cyclers. I think so, yeah. And we'll pass. Opponent's turn. They do have a Wasteland. Okay, so this is possibly like tempo. Like Dimir Tempo or Dimir Reanimator, I guess. And now we're left with a dilemma, which is, do we play around like 2 more Wastelands? Or I guess even just 1 more? I think playing around 1 more, it's better to play out the Bloodstained Mire. They would have to like Wasteland Bloodstained Mire and then Wasteland again, which I don't think they will be able to. Brainstorm, okay. Them finding Thoughtseize here, a little annoying, because well, I guess it's not the end of the world. It postpones things, but it also means they're not doing anything else here. I could Force of Will a Thoughtseize. They do have another Wasteland. Okay, well. And I think here I just fetch and cycle twice and win the game. There's Oracle, gonna cycle Street Wraith and draw the Cavern. And name Merfolk. And here I am just gonna full-blown pivot into the creatures. Only thing I'm concerned about is whether or not to go for the Graveyard Haters. So I think I'm gonna leave Grafdigger's Cage at home, but like bring in Nihil Spellbomb. I can always cycle that. like if it is Reanimator. Leaving in Tendrils is actually not a terrible plan here because sometimes things can get kind of close. Let's get rid of Edge of Autumn. Probably Dark Petition. I don't know, like get rid of Lion's Eye Diamond, get rid of Thassa's Oracle, and get rid of the 4 Mind's Desires. That leaves us with 21 blue cards. Yep, let's try this. Alright, I think I'll keep this. Like, turn 1 Barrelglyph? Potentially. We still don't know if our opponent is Dimir or... Okay, Tamiyo. Dimir or blue-red. I'm thinking Dimir here. I think I will cast Ponder. Like, I would love to find another land. I'm gonna get Basic Island. Which turns off Dark Ritual for now, but is probably better off some way down the line here. Yeah, this is great. We just need them to not have Thoughtseize plus Days right now. I want all of these cards, and I'm going to draw them, so I'm just going to start off with drawing the most important one, which is the basic swamp. Pass turn. Okay, here comes a clue. Is my opponent going to do it all? Nope, they're just passing, so sweet. No Thoughtseize. Love that. Love that for me. Gonna Dark Ritual here, and just cast the Barrelglyph. And not do anything else. I'll, of course, Force of Will. I'll Force of Will pitch Consider here if I have to. And then I'll have Force of Negation on like something like a Fatal Push next turn. Okay, they are drawing probably kind of panicky with the clue. They have Force Pitch Consign. Yeah, you like that Consign, don't you? I'm going to Force Pitch the Consider, and Goyf is in. Alright, sweet. Now I'm drawing Long Goodbye, which answers Tamiyo. Like, eventually. They get their clue. Third land. Eat the clue. If they ponder here, they get to flip Tamiyo, and that's what happens. But then I get to just kill Tamiyo. I guess no, I don't, right? Because Tamiyo will plus, and Goyf will be a 2/4 when it attacks. Unless, of course, I find like an artifact here. I think I am supposed to just attack them and like flip 2 cards. Oh, there's Sheoldred. I'll take her. And I could Long Goodbye right now. If they minus the Tamiyo, it's a little bit annoying, but I think I'm not going to do that. I'm going to... I hope to... Yeah, I hope they're going for the race here. Then I'll Long Goodbye at end of turn if I have to, or if I'm able to. Long Goodbye also puts a creature in the graveyard for Barrelglyph considerations. Nethergoyf, okay. Nethergoyf is in. And I will kill Tamiyo. Force of Will, I like that. I will attack here. This might be Petty Theft. Petty Theft, yeah, I'm gonna Force of Will that. Like, they will have to force back if that's the thing they want to do. It wasn't. Do you I guess I was gonna say trade, but that's not a trade. Well, like, would you jump here? No. Okay. I get to flip. I will flip. I hit Brazen Borrower. That's really good. I think I'm gonna ponder though, and see if I can hit a land. Nihil Spellbomb. So I'll take the land, and then next turn Nihil Spellbomb, I think. Although, is that true? Do I want these cards? Like, Tendrils, yeah, but I'm like really far off from casting it. I'm gonna shuffle actually. Because we kind of have the, like, Murktide covered. If they Murktide now, we have the Brazen Borrower. We're also like, we have two Cavern of Souls, so we'll draw one of those. That'd be pretty sweet. Okay, they have Wasteland. Yep. I'm assuming there's an attack coming. Nope. Thoughtseize. Yep. Like that. That makes it so we don't attack into like an ambush here. If they have Bowmasters or something. And they do. Okay. Alright, so Bowmasters comes in. We take the days. That's also pretty nice because we are like struggling to play around days right now. So they put a damage on me. I could like we could trade here, but then I'm not sure that's good for us. I think we just wait. So they would need to put all creatures in front of it, but like from next turn on, I can like attack with Brazen Borrower as my backup. Okay. They play out their land. They have one unknown card. Okay. So now we can play around days. It has to be Force of Will they just drew, or Force of Negation, I guess, in order for this to work for them. Okay, they just trade the army. Here comes the Surveil land. Do they like what they find? They do. They put a card on top. Scary. What might that be? Tamiyo, okay. And a Wasteland? Honestly, I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, I am not gonna Surveil. I would like the land in case I need to cast spells later. Okay, now we have two answers for a flip Tamiyo. They just let me connect here. Yep. Okay, we miss. Alright, fair enough. Alright, Tamiyo attacks. They get a clue. They are able to, like, wall us here for a little bit. But I think I'm gonna Petty Theft the Nethergoyf. Because that means they probably have to put Bowmasters in front of Barrowgoyf. Okay, they draw a clue in response. You got it. They daze. I will give up this land for that. This is card economy right now, and they are... Yeah, they wasteland me, sure. And now... I could bounce their Bowmasters. How big is this guy? He's 5. I don't think I do that. I think I just attack here. They do sacrifice the Bowmasters. And I think I will cycle this... Oh no, wait, my Undercity Sewers is in the graveyard already? No, I still think I get this. I cycle this... Oh no! Oh, I'm such a goddamn newbie. There's all of my lands. Holy cannoli. Yeah. Kids, don't play like I do. That was terrible. Yeah, I forgot. I'm playing 3 Underground Sea, not 4. Ugh. Okay, well, if I lose this game because of what just happened, I'm gonna feel terrible. Okay, here comes Nethergoyf. And we eat a clue. Num num num. They don't know about my second Brazen Borrower. Brainstorm. Okay. Man, a Dark Ritual would be pretty sweet with this Sheoldred. Okay, Flamio. that's funny. Tamiyo flips. Tamiyo pluses. Another Tamiyo. All the Tamiyos. I think I need to hit a Dark Ritual right now. I don't. I hit a Ponder. Alright, let's cast. Fatal Push. Do I have a single land that it can be fetched? Nope. That was the thing we just talked about. Alright, so what happens here? I think I shuffle. Like, the Fatal Push is kind of tempting, but like the fetch land is pretty bad. Let's cycle the Street Wraith. We hit a fetch land that we cannot use. Yeah. Ugh. Not liking where this match is heading. So they can like keep replaying this Nethergoyf over and over again, I think, for a while. I'm gonna attack them. They can even take the hit here and go to 2. First Tameo makes a noble sacrifice. Says Thoughtseize? Sure. So Thoughtseize takes Brazen Borrower, I'm pretty sure. I guess depending on how scared they are of Sheoldred. Like, if I ever resolve Sheoldred, it's going to be hard for them to win. But they do take Petty Theft. They buy back... What was that? Days. Okay. I guess they have Murktide. Is that the deal? So, probably Murktide trades with the Barrowgoyf. I am going to attack. They can also, like, continue to grow their Murktide like this, like by rebuying or replaying the Nethergoyf. But that is gonna, like, I'm gonna gain a bunch of life as well. They're at 3. And my Tendrils, right? My Tendrils is still in the deck. But right now, like, mana is just such a problem. Another Nethergoyf. Right on. And they're probably escaping the first one. And now I take chunks of 10. Good thing is they can't kill my Barrowgoyf by double blocking. Ooh, that petal is potentially really nice. Alright, I'm gonna play that out. We can't play the Brazen Borrower because they have the Daze and I can't fetch. So now, I mean, this doesn't work unless, like, how's this? They're just, yeah, they're dealing my Barrowgoyf 4 and mine has Death Touch, so maybe they want to continue to grow theirs. They can't though, and now they don't have enough card types, so now they can't attack. I guess depending on what's in their hand and what they can do. Plus the Tameo. Okay. Come on, Cavern of Souls. Lotus Petal. Okay. So, I guess I will attack. They have to trade. That's right. Right. I attack. The problem is if they plus the Tameo, then my Brazen Borrower flashing in is gonna attack for 2. Oh boy, this is close. Like, Force of Will just also gets me so hard here. They plus... They Wasteland, sure. I think I have to do this to not get ultimated. But I mean, is this even a play? So let's see. If, no, I'm actually going to take the draw. Yeah, 1 draw to rule them all. A Dark Ritual, another Petal, the Last Cabal Ritual, the Cavern of Souls. Oh no. Alright, the Mercy fetch to see if somehow I missed something last time, but I know I didn't, so there's nothing to fetch. Let's see, I had 6 draws there out of 25 cards. That's obviously not a lot. Alright, I'm gonna concede. And then I am going to play the last round, or the last game with full combo and no creatures. Because now the cat's sort of out of the bag. Get rid of all the creatures, the Force of Negations, the Brazen Borrowers. What am I missing? The Fatal Push. Bring in all the Doomsday and Mind's Desire stuff. What am I missing here? There's 1 card too many in the deck right now. That's the second Cavern of Souls. Yeah. So hopefully their deck will be filled with like Fatal Pushes and Brazen Borrower and whatnot, Sheoldred's Edicts, and I can cruise to a combo win. Yeah, let's keep this. I'm gonna fetch Swamp and go Thoughtseize. And then next turn I can Thoughtseize plus Ponder. What is Endwalker? Oh, that's Brainstorm. Okay. Guess I think I'll take the Force of Will here. And I'll pass. They will play out Tamiyo, and then I can take their Brainstorm if I want to. Next turn. No, they Ponder. Okay. Interesting. Guess they're worried about something big happening this turn. I think I will just Ponder. Looking forward, Doomsday. Mind's Desire is okay as well. Dark, or Underground Sea rather. And Tamiyo. And now they can flip the Tamiyo at will. And they do that. No messing about. And here comes the plussy, and now they can minus her to get Force of Will back if they feel like it. I'm gonna just go land to go here. We're drawing the Consider. That can be a card we can like brainstorm away if we want to. They are just going for it here, Nethergoyf, right? Okay. I think I will cast the Brainstorm now. I think hitting another land would be pretty good. Get rid of Undercity Sewers and Brainstorm. Yeah, I'll play my Underground Sea and pass. Would really like to not get Thoughtseize right now. Like, really, really, really. Would also appreciate no Wasteland here. Do I save my Consider? I don't think so. I think I fetch Undercity Sewers here. And then cast Consider. Brainstorm. Let's get rid of that. And then we cast Consider. Get rid of Thassa. Second Mind Desire, terrible. We need that in the deck. Okay, so what's the play here? I think we start off with a Thoughtseize. Would really like to get them to cast a spell here. But I'd also really like for them not to counter my Cabal Ritual. Cast something, like cast a Bowmasters. Obviously they don't have that. Okay, yeah, they're casting stuff. Force of Negation. Okay. Well, if they Force of Will this Cabal Ritual, they got us. Whew, I felt like they paused for a long time, so they obviously have something here. And now the question is, do I crack the LED for something? Probably not, right? No. We can do that in response to like Brainstorm or something if we hit a Brainstorm off Mind's Desire. Alright, let's cast Mind's Desire. Storm is 5. It's sadly not very much, but that is kind of how this deck is played all day with Mind's Desire. Alright. First flip. Dark Petition. We like that. Second flip. Daze. That's also pretty good because now we can daze their Force of Will. Lotus Petal. I guess I don't hate it. Ponder is good. Sweet. And a Cabal Ritual. Alright, that's really good. It's because, well, I mean, it's really good, but it also requires them to not have two counter spells here. So let's cast this Cabal Ritual, and let's cast a Ponder. Force of Will. I think we take that. Now we have Force plus Stays, and then we just Dark Petition for Tendrils, and go on with our lives. There is Tendrils. This is exactly lethal, so if they have any way to counter one copy, then, you know, they got us. But they have to beat both Days and Force. Alright, sweet, we got there. Woohoo! Beat Dimir Tempo. Alright, I think all in all, this deck performed a little bit better than I had expected. And we got to do some cool Mindstar stuff. I think I'm going to clip that win with the Tendrils off of Mind's Desire post Doomsday against Oops All Poops, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is a guilty pleasure deck for sure. I think there are better things to be doing competitively, but I also think it's really sweet and kind of showcases another way to play Doomsday, another way to play like Dimir combo and Legacy. There's always going to be a warm place in my heart for Mind's Desire. Alright, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Really appreciate the support. Please do the YouTube stuff if you don't mind. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really helps the channel grow. And I'll be back with some more Legacy. Bye-bye.